So we simply breathe and relax down into the body as we become aware of our own presence here in this room, and an awareness of our circle, that we are not alone. So we move into the higher energy that is available to us. It is always being sent, of course, though we are not always open to receive it. And yet, coming together in our group, these waves of higher light and love, which are continually being sent, are able to be received in an amplified form. And we can feel the intensity of the energy as we sit together in our group in a unified intention. So the waves of energies that are being sent are continually being upgraded. And in addition to the waves that come in for the collective, we each have our own guides and teachers under the direction of our soul that determine what we are ready for on an individual basis and how much light we are able to receive. So each one is in a different place, a different position within themselves, which is why it is so important to accept wherever one is at this moment in time as being exactly right for you under divine guidance, which of course brings up the issue of trust. So let us ask now for assistance from the Arcturians who are here to work with us. Helioa, Juniano, the Temple Masters, the Council of Elders. We ask for the Crystal Temple to be activated within this room, around our circle. And those of you who are familiar with the Arcturian energies, their frequencies, may perceive how it happens immediately. And yet it takes time for the human consciousness to gently rise into resonance with the higher frequencies. So you may feel or sense or see, simply visualize or imagine the higher dimensional structures of light with its colors and geometries that form within this room. The most important thing, of course, is that you relax into the body and allow a gentle opening of your heart. For this is how the love and light which the Arcturians bring to us is able to flow into your being, to be received into your aura, and for your experience to gradually become more tangible. So we sit together for a little while within this crystal temple energy. The Arcturian blue light surrounding you. And you allow yourself to feel the comforting embrace, the peacefulness, and the love of the Arcturian beings that are so pleased to be here to work with you. So, the energy of trust. As we look into ourselves, we go deeper, beyond our image to the outer world, beyond the life that we live within. To the deeper places that we rarely wish to go to. What do we really feel behind our human personality? It's not, of course, about dwelling on past events which may have been unpleasant, not at all. It's about coming into the truth of my own emotional body. The truth of all that exists within me. For in all that we have buried, there is much wisdom available to us. And as we move ever more deeply into the very depths of self, we also find the wonders of the many beautiful and magnificent aspects of oneself which we have not been able to access for fear of our emotions. We have been afraid to feel, afraid to allow emotion to flow through us, afraid to face the wounded one within. And over many lifetimes and generations, the wounded one within has built up a strong resistance to ever trusting that life can be beautiful, free from suffering, and that we could ever rise out of the pain of the third dimension into the beauty of the higher realms while in a physical life. And this resistance which we have built up takes different forms in different people. Quite often it is like a resignation, resigned. Resigned to the lower life, resigned to my suffering, and so on. It can take the form of sadness, the sadness of life. It can take the form of not being able to forgive God. It can take many forms. But even if you cannot give it a word, describe it. Doesn't matter. Can you feel your resistance, which does not trust in the divine plan? So we help you now as we raise your frequency into higher light. We bring you our assistance. We're raising you into higher awareness. That you may see, sense, or feel your resistance. Resistance is quite natural, for you are on a planet of duality, of polarities. So there is always resistance. It's quite natural. And yet when you can see from the perspective of your soul that that resistance is no longer needed, then you can begin to let it go and find once again trust. It requires an open heart and the energy of the high heart. For the high heart trusts naturally. It is not something it needs to learn. So we communicate with you now through our transmissions to your subconscious, to your superconscious, for we see you in your entirety, and we assist you in expanding your consciousness, your awareness. So we transmit to you now frequencies from the center of this temple, from the etheric crystal, which is becoming ever brighter, a further elevation of your frequency. As you lift yourself up, reaching upwards to join us in the 5th dimensional frequency. The Christ light, which Lord Sananda brings like a blanket over the 3rd dimension. For this matrix, this cycle is now at its end. In your human self, there is truly nothing you need to do. Simply to be in your I Am presence, or focusing upon your breath as you simply live your life and allow this blanket of the Christ consciousness which surrounds you and your planet to dissolve away the old 3D. Your higher self knows this, and you are able to bring this higher thought, higher knowledge, higher knowing into your 3rd dimensional mind, into your human self. And be at peace with all that is taking place. For at a deeper level, you know the divine plan and how it works. You know that all that you are receiving from the higher dimensions is gradually lifting you out of the 3rd dimension. Allow yourselves, through your open heart, to trust the process. As you feel the bliss of being in the Arcturian energy and in the higher frequencies of your multi-dimensional self, simply allow the resistance to be accepted with love and kindness. And we bring to the resistance the violet fire to burn it away. for it comes from the past, which no longer exists, from a dimension which is ending whenever you wish to say goodbye to it. You feel your freedom as you choose to rise upwards, and a conflict arises. Part of you rises in frequency into the freedom of the higher realms, and yet another part of you does not want to let go of that resistance. It is a choice. What do you choose? Allow the violet fire to transmute and dissolve that which you choose. To release from your consciousness. As it begins to dissolve, you begin to feel more free. And your perception begins to change. You begin to see, to experience the divine plan and the blanket of Sananda's light and love, which is lifting all into the golden age. And it is for you to choose to allow His blanket of grace to embrace you, to move into your aura, to enter into every cell of your body, to dissolve away the painful memories, to awaken you from the dream where you see it was only a dream. The dream has ended and you are now awake. And we continue to send our transmissions to you through your third eye, down through your crown, into your high heart. Nothing for you to do, simply to allow, simply to receive. for you are being lifted in consciousness upwards into the higher realms where you have always existed, and you feel it, you experience it. And you have a longing to return, not to leave this world, but to be in both simultaneously. So the light of soul descending downwards from high above through your soul star chakra into your crown. You receive as much as you can hold of the light of your divine self. You become aware of the dimensions of self above your third dimension. And as this higher light of self, the divine being of light that you are, descends into your physical body, allow your body of light to descend downwards through your whole body, the whole of your aura, to below your feet. Feel or experience the brilliant glowing light of your aura. And see your aura in crystalline light, and your crystalline light moving through the crystalline grid of Gaia. And your energy moves downwards until you reach her very core. And you feel her pulse. As your pulse comes into oneness with Gaia from her core. And you allow her energy to rise as she enters through the chakra below your feet, upwards through your lower chakras, rising into your heart. Where the divine upward flow of Gaia's powerful mother energy joins in your heart with the blanket of grace which Sananda sends through your crown and down into your heart. And you feel within your heart that divine union from above and from below coming together within your high heart. As the light becomes golden and white, expanding, opening, and as you surrender to it, so a connection takes place between your high heart and the center of your head. And you receive ever more powerful energies upwards into your being from Gaia herself. And now, her crystal within this room, within this temple, receives her powerful energy, and it radiates outwards. You simply focus on the crystal and receive. Relax into it, surrender to it. Nothing to do, simply allow Allow yourself to receive the divine feminine. It is soft and gentle and requires you to be soft and gentle in order to receive it. It is fine and sensitive. As you allow yourself to become fine and sensitive, so you can receive and surrender. For the feminine energy surrenders to the divine will of God. And becomes illumined in the light of the Creator. You are granted with a direct connection to Source. So as you know, your heart chakra or high heart chakra is cone-shaped, beginning some distance behind your back, passing through your body and opening outwards in front of your chest. Come into the deepest place of surrender, filled with divine light and love, and become aware of the space behind your back. The light that flows into you from behind your back, moving through your open high heart, is the light and love of Creator Source. As you become still, and experience the Creator's light shining through you, you know that you are one with the Creator. You are part of the Creator. And you begin to recognize your light, your magnificence, and your power through surrender to the divine in you. and you receive from all around you the upward flow from Gaia, the downward flow from above. From behind, from in front of you, and from within. And you embody the true light of your being. You become your body of light. So rest a while in the ecstasy of this experience. And when you choose to open your eyes and return to your awareness of this room, remain in your I Am presence.